start by thanking my opponent for investing $14 million into our local economy. Clearly it didn't work, but our local
is really huge. Right now, the Wisconsin congressional delegation is 6 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And Democrats really want it.
Because 2026 is going to be a battle royale. I mean, we have to keep the House, as others have said. If we don't keep the House, Trump's going to get impeached. There's going to be all kinds.
Today, we will expose the tactics of the left to subvert the will of the American people. From the overwhelming victory of a Republican in Florida, which made Democrats choke on their own wasted millions, to the judicial maneuvers in Wisconsin that threatened to forcibly redraw the political map. And to start this debate, get ready to see how a true Republican handles victory.
Well, thank you for that amazing introduction, Evan. I want to start by thanking my opponent for investing $14 million into our local economy. Clearly it didn't work, but our local, all right, hey, my family's here, all right, but our local businesses certainly appreciated it. And today, as I went from polling place to polling place and met paid poll workers from California and Atlanta and Seattle, I told them I hoped they enjoyed their stay in Florida, and I wish them safe travels home. Because this is Trump country. Now, my friends, I've known for the past few weeks how I'd start this speech, no matter how the evening turned out. It said that victory has 1,000 fathers, and failure has none. If I'd lost, I was going to be the father of the failure. I would have accepted all the blame, to grant all the criticism I've taken, and all the media narratives. But here's what...
Witness the opening of a speech that is pure political genius. He not only won, but made a point to thank his opponent for envying $14 million in the local economy. And while the Democrats spend fortunes on empty campaigns, the Republicans turn even the defeats of their adversaries into victories for the people. The Republican demonstrates here not only his political cunning, but also his ability to turn attacks into opportunities. This is how real politics is done. Thinking about the economic well-being of the community above all. Now get ready to hear the raw truth about what is really at stake in these elections. Elon Musk is going to expose the left's diabolical plan.
News alert, a crushing blow for Democrats who had hoped against hope. The Associated Press has called Florida's 6th district race for Republican Randy Fine, and in minutes, the polls will close for Florida's 1st congressional district. In 1 hour, the polls will close in Wisconsin's pivotal Supreme Court race between radical Susan Crawford and conservative Brad Schimmel.
The judge race will decide whether the Wisconsin districts get redrawn. They're going to try to gerrymander Wisconsin to remove 2 Republican seats. And as you know, the House is currently Republican by a razor-thin margin, which means that losing this judge race has a good chance of causing Republicans to lose control of the House. If you lose control of the House, there will be nonstop impeachment.
Musk mentions is not new in American politics, but what the left is trying to do in Wisconsin is a classic example of electoral manipulation. By redrawing the districts, they intend to eliminate 2 Republican seats in Congress. And this is not democracy, it's political engineering. And let's not fool ourselves, the Republican margin in the House is really narrow. Losing those 2 seats could mean the difference between maintaining Republican control or handing it over to the Democrats. The consequences, exactly as Musk warned, an endless flood of impeachment hearings, paralyzing the government, preventing us from doing the work the American people elected us to do. The left is using judges' robes to steal Congress. See how they plan to forcibly rewrite the political map.
Now, this will impact the control of Congress, undoubtedly. Elon Musk didn't get involved in this for nothing.
No, as a matter of fact, there's a lot of talk about abortion in Wisconsin. That's a very big deal, so I don't want to downplay that. But redistricting is really huge. Right now, the Wisconsin congressional delegation is 6 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And Democrats really, really, really want to change that. Cases are going to come, redistricting cases are going to come before the Supreme Court. And that's where a Democratic, we know this is nonpartisan, but a Democratic victory would really help them.
Ned, people think Supreme Court race, state, doesn't matter. And Republicans have historically not turned out to vote in these elections. But, man, between Scott Presler, Trump's robocalls, and Elon Musk, I mean, if Republicans pull out a victory here, all 3 of them deserve the credit for it.
Yeah, and I would add there's some really great Wisconsin donors who have put a lot of money into it. And we've been up there, actually, Laura, with American Majority Action, about 2 million voter contacts the last couple of months. But this is a national referendum. The left kind of stole a march on us. We thought it was going to be a $50 million race total, turned into a $100 million race, about $60 million of that for Crawford, and about 77% of her donations are out of state. So the left fully understood what this was about. If they keep the majority in the state Supreme Court, get to redraw and get 2 more seats, and kind of turn it into a referendum on Trump in total. So I think it's going to be close. We were hoping for at least a 2.3 million turnout to give Schimmel a chance. He's got to be up 30,000 votes going into Milwaukee before they count the Milwaukee votes. So I think it's going to be razor thin. Right now, though, I think he's down by a couple points.
Well, we'll see. It's a big...
Currently, Wisconsin has a congressional delegation of 6 Republicans and 2 Democrats. This is a fair representation of the will of the people of Wisconsin, but the left wants to change that at all costs. Redistricting is not just about lines on a map. It's about pure and simple political power. If the Democrats manage to redraw the districts, they can effectively silence the voice of thousands of conservative voters, diluting their votes in districts dominated by the left. The battle for America's future is not just at the polls, but in the silent war for the hearts and minds of voters. See how we Republicans can arm ourselves for the fight.
Speaking of Scott Presler, who I mentioned, he's trying to flip New Jersey, as Republicans did in Pennsylvania. Of course, New Jersey's the gubernatorial race, Virginia's gubernatorial race in November. Yep. But in 2021, Republican Jack Ciattarelli lost to Phil Murphy, the incumbent governor Democrat, by just over 80,000 votes. Byron, no one thought that was possible, but that was as the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris disaster was unfolding. What does Donald Trump and the Republicans, what do they need to keep in mind as we're getting closer to these important elections?
Well, the entire media narrative from tonight going forward is going to be that voters are expressing their unhappiness with Donald Trump. They regret electing Donald Trump. They want to change. So you're going to see that tonight. You're going to see that in special elections, off-year elections, all the way through the midterm elections. And I think Trump has to treat this as somehow different because this is his second term, but of course it's not his consecutive second term. There's never been one like this, and he's probably going to take a role that we've never seen before.
And Ned, do you agree that part of this messaging about Social Security, they're doing the same thing? You're pushing grandma off the cliff. Remember that Paul Ryan? We pushed that ad. They're kind of doing a version of that now. But sometimes that works, even though that is not on the table, that is not going to be touched. But that's a big push that they're making in Wisconsin tonight.
Well, I think you need to see more Elon Musk and Doge doing interviews and working that narrative. I thought what they did the other night in Wisconsin was spectacular, talking about Social Security numbers and the Medicaid fraud with illegals. But I would add, Laura, to what Byron said. It's not only a narrative battle, but the Republicans need to focus on the fundamentals. They need to do what the Florida Republican Party did for 5 years, which is focus on voter registration, absentee ballot requests, cleaning voter rolls, and then actually investing in absentee ballot chase and early vote projects. Because 2026 is going to be a battle royale. I mean, we have to keep the House, as others have said. If we don't keep the House, Trump's going to get impeached. There's going to be all kinds of investigations. The agenda goes sideways. So focus on the fundamentals while you're fighting the narrative battle.
So they're trying to slow them down in the courts, and they're doing a pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
They're trying to outmaneuver them with the activism on the ground. But Republicans on the Hill, Byron, 15 seconds, how important it is that they get their act together, stay in, get this job done, and chalk up some victories.
They have to do that. I mean, how long have we been talking about the one big beautiful bill or the two bills
Oh,
or
my God.
whatever's going to happen with that? They actually need to pass a law.
Yeah,
the president will sign it.
Yeah, and maybe not fight over proxy voting at a key week, okay?
It was wisely pointed out. We need to focus on the fundamentals: voter registration, clean electoral rolls, and massive investment in early voting and mail-in voting strategies. Florida has shown us the way. Now we need to replicate this model across the country in 2026. It will indeed be an epic battle. If we lose the House, we will face a tsunami of unfounded investigations and also impeachment attempts. And that is why every legislative victory, every bill passed, every promise fulfilled is crucial. We need to show the American people that the Republican Party is the party of action and not just words. Comment on what you thought of this video, share it with your friends. And together, let's strengthen the Republican Party more and more. Thank you much to everyone. See you in the next video.